Hello again, summer science students. It's our second lesson of week 3. So let's go ahead and get started. And remember, we are less than 2 weeks away from being done with summer school. Okay, so just a reminder that all of the quizzes in yellow should be done by now. This is not the whole list. The list is so big that I can't show it to you right now. So everything in orange was done from week 2, and everything above that is from week 1. Today we'll be finishing up our 4th quiz. So if it seems overwhelming, try really hard to keep up with the 2 quizzes per day. And if it's like you're getting really overwhelmed, remember it's never too late to start. Get a hold of me and we'll figure something out. I just want to make sure that you are continuing the learning process during this time. All right, we're going to hop right back in because you guys know the drill. So today we're going to read Infectious Diseases up to the body's defense on grad point, and then we're going to take the 2 quizzes associated with that. All right, and how to get to these lessons, we are still on Unit 2. So click on Unit 2, the screen will pop up. We are now in folder 3. If you open that, it looks something like this. Today's lessons in yellow, and the lessons above that were from yesterday. Okay, if you're ready, I'd like to start our grad point summary. Again, this is the most important points or information from the 2 chapters that we are going to read. So it's not every single thing, it's just the information I want you to have a good understanding before you go and you take those quizzes. Okay, so we're going to start off with infectious diseases. And I think that this is really interesting because why are we having virtual summer school right now? Well, because we're in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, and a virus is a type of infectious disease. Sometimes you get sick from organisms that are easily caught person to person. For example, coronavirus. And like we know from coronaviruses, these are easily passed on. So we're going to call these infectious disease. And infectious means that you can easily pass it on to another person. Okay, and you can pass this through sneezing, coughing, breathing in air with these infectious diseases in, or having food or drink with that are infected with these diseases. So a disease is just something that can make you sick. All right, so some infectious diseases are spread by drinking contaminated water or eating food that's contaminated. So an example is cholera and dysentery. Luckily for us in the United States, we don't have much of this going on because we have relatively clean drinking water and clean food sources, but it's not the case for everybody around the world. So one way to get an infectious disease is by eating bad food or drinking bad water. And when I say bad, I mean it has these organisms that can cause disease or harm in your body. So other infectious diseases are spread person to person, okay, like coronavirus. If I have coronavirus and I cough on you and you breathe in that virus, you're also going to get coronavirus. But some infectious diseases are spread from animals to humans, so that's really interesting. So let me give you some examples. Lyme disease, and that is spread to humans by ticks. And that's why they always say when you walk in long grass, you should wear pants or high socks because these are little ticks. And what they want to do is they want to suck your blood. And when they bite you, they sometimes can put in a pathogen, which we'll learn the word for that later, that can make you sick for a really long time, like basically your whole life. Dogs can also get ticks. Another example is malaria, which is a disease that is spread by humans, or excuse me, spread to humans by mosquitoes. So not so much do we have to worry about it where we are in New York, but this is something in Africa and in warmer climates, diseases that are spread by mosquitoes. All right. So I keep talking about infectious disease, infectious disease, infectious disease. Well, what is that? So it is an organism or living thing that can cause a disease. We're going to call these pathogens. So an infectious disease is basically you get a pathogen in your body. I like to call pathogens like bad guys. So who are the bad guys? Well, there's 4 major types of bad guys or pathogens. There are bacteria. Okay, we all know about bacteria. single-celled organisms. There's lots of good bacteria, but if you get bad bacteria, it can really make your life miserable. And some bacteria produces toxins, which are like almost like poisonous chemicals that can go into the air, and that can affect the body. There's fungi, like kind of like mushrooms, except not so pleasant. And there's certain fungi that can really make your body sick. It can cause ringworm, which is a fungal infection on the skin, and athlete's foot, which this is like a very mild case of athlete's foot. Especially if you're in the gym a lot or you're a swimmer or you play sports. I'm sure you're really familiar with athlete's foot. It causes peeling and cracking, and it is technically a type of fungus. It's like the cousin to the mushroom, so you don't have little mushrooms growing under your feet, but it's in the same family as mushrooms. Okay, viruses. We know this one. We've got the common flu, stomach flu is a virus, COVID-19 is a virus, HIV is a virus, and we have something maybe you haven't heard of it called the protist, which is a single-celled organism. Remember that you can be considered living as long as you're made up of one cell. And protists live in the soil, they live in water, single cell. But if you get one into your body, it can cause some major issues. All right, so stop, pause, please, because we are done with infectious diseases. I would really recommend watching this at least one or two more times, because there's a lot of vocabulary words that I threw at you: dysentery, malaria, cholera, pathogens. And there's just no way that you can get all that information from just watching it once. So I recommend you watch it one more time, two more times to be safe. And then why don't you play it while you take the quiz? A lot of vocabulary. All right, moving on, we're going to talk about the body's defense system. So I just scared you with all these different types of pathogens, but good news, your body has some defense mechanisms to help you protect you from pathogens. Remember, pathogens are the bad guys that can make you sick or cause disease. So one thing that your body does is it will spike a fever, like when you get the flu. Sometimes you'll get hot and sweaty. Well, that's on purpose because what happens is your body temperature will rise. So pathogens have a hard time reproducing or making more of themselves. And if you're able to stop them from getting bigger in their population or making more of themselves, then you can kind of shorten your time of being sick. So fever is a good thing. It's your body trying to fight. Okay, another is your skin. So you might not think of it, but your skin covers most of your body, and that just acts as a physical barrier or border to stop things from entering. And that's why it's important to take care of a cut or a wound and cover it until it's healed, because if you don't, then you basically have like an open door for pathogens to come in. Also, your skin produces oil and sweat. That sounds gross, right? Nobody wants an oily, sweaty person near them. However, that serves a purpose too. That will kill some pathogens. Actually, your sweat is acidic. It's an acid, and it helps kill a lot of pathogens that come on your skin. Also, you have a whole organ system called the immune system that produces many cells that help find and destroy pathogens. So a pathogen will come in, the immune system will go, and they'll basically be like, attack, and will wipe that pathogen out. Let's talk more about the immune system. So when a pathogen enters the body, either through the nose, the mouth, a cut, your body will recognize it as foreign or not originally from the body, not part of the body. Then the body's like, uh-oh, somebody's here who's not supposed to. I'm going to attack. And this attack is known as an immune response. So we've got two important cells that really help fight and really help be in charge of our immune response. Those are the T cells and the B cells. So T cells find the infected cells, and B cells will make antibodies that will attach onto pathogens. So I know that's a mouthful, so I really like this picture. So here's a B cell on the left, and he is a good guy, okay? And we see that he almost looks like a porcupine, and he has all these little spikes, and the spikes are called antibody. Well, when the B cell, the good guy, comes across a bad guy pathogen, it will release the antibodies almost like somebody shooting an arrow, and these antibodies will stick on the bad guy pathogen. And it almost serves as like a flag. Like I'm sticking an antibody in the pathogen, I am saying, hey, this guy does not belong here. And when you have cells whose main job are to eat other things to destroy it, like a white blood cell, that's their job, is they find something bad and they get rid of it by eating it. When a white blood cell comes across this pathogen marked with an antibody, he will be like, yep, this is a bad guy. I need to eat him and I need to get rid of him. Okay, so B cells make antibodies. B for B cell, B for bodies, antibodies. That's a bit of a stretch, but anyway, to help you remember it. And they will throw it at a bad guy pathogen. They'll throw their antibody and mark it so that other cells will come around. And when antibodies attach to the pathogen, they clump together and they're easy for other body cells to find and destroy. All right, stop, because we are officially done with the body's defense system. So what you need to do is you need to take the quiz, the body's defense system. I recommend you rewind the video a few minutes, watch it one more time and take the quiz, maybe even play the video as you're watching the quiz. And this way you can stop or pause or play to have the slides help you with the questions. And when you're done with that and you pass them, you are all set, and I will see you back here tomorrow.